There was once a villa in the center of ancient Rome where 6 women lived. They were the Vestal Virgins, and they had an important job. They had to keep alive the sacred fire dedicated to Vesta, the goddess of the hearth. Vestal Virgins were selected from noble Roman families when they were between 6 and 10 years old. They then served for 30 years. Now, after 20 years of sitting empty, the House of the Vestal Virgins has been opened to the public. The first to visit the newly opened house was a group of women who study Roman traditions and dress in Vestal Virgin costumes. Adriana Serpi is dressed as the Massima Vestale, or Chief Vestal.
The Maximum Vestal was the oldest in the group of priestesses that was made up of 6 Vestal Virgins. She did what the other Vestal Virgins did. They kept the sacred flame burning. The fire represented the heart. The fire had to always be burning. Fire was life, so it was very important for Rome. And the punishment for whoever put out the fire was very severe, corporal punishment.
The punishment for a Vestal Virgin breaking her vow of chastity was also severe. She was condemned to death and buried alive. As the Vestal Virgins wander through the courtyard, they stop to take a closer look at a statue of one of the chief Vestal Virgins. The name on the statue has been rubbed off and the base has been defaced. Apparently, she was one of the few Vestal Virgins who broke her vows and was buried alive. Laura Weinstein is a tour guide. She says that for years she has been pointing over the railing into the House of the Vestal Virgins as she explains their special story to tourists.
Women were the property of their father, their brother, their husband, whoever was the head of the household. So in fact, by becoming a Vestal Virgin, these girls and later ladies were able to escape from this kind of system, which, to be honest, was kind of oppressive sometimes. And they lived in this mansion. And they had slaves, and they had baths, and they were respected more than any other women in society.
The courtyard was the center of all activity in the House of the Vestal Virgins. Along the sides of the courtyard there were kitchens and the ovens for making a sacred bread called mola salsa. A columned area at the end marked the entrance to the living area with 3 rooms on each side. The area has been closed for 20 years, but according to officials from Italy's Ministry of Culture, it took only 6 months and nearly $300,000 to fix it up. The tradition of the Vestal Virgins lasted roughly 1,000 years, from around 700 BC to when a Christian emperor disbanded the Vestal Virgins and had the sacred fire put out in 394 AD. It was over 2,000 years ago that the Vestal Virgins lived here, walked on these paths, and kept the sacred flame alive. Now tourists can follow in their footsteps. Tricia Thomas, Associated Press, Rome.